Of course, a little heart thingy, a little heart poof. Okay, so we are. Okay, cool beans. All right, so I didn't feel like clearing out my Zoom. So instead of just recording this, I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it as live. Then I can just download it and I can do it like that. So that's my plan, is use this live so I can actually post this where I want to post it. Because I wanted to do a longer video and I didn't feel like 10 minutes was going to be enough. But we'll see. We'll see if 10 minutes is enough. So Alafia says, Alafia Budo Boy Apple Shishe. So today, we'll do well. Thank you for the roses. All right, so today, first thing this morning, I saw a video. And it was this woman explaining the ritual around the unaliving of Black people via hanging from trees. And I watched the video almost completely, and I did a video, and as I was typing the caption, I realized, I said, this feels more like I want to talk about this a little bit more. So that was kind of the inspiration, and I've kind of like been doing things all day, and it's like, how am I going to do this video? And I said, I'm just going to do this live. I'm going to do it as a live, and well, thank you for popping in, sis. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Much appreciated. So, in the post, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. So, in my video this morning, I was thinking about the medicine of Ifa on our land, on our soil, and why it's so important. And as I'm getting to my Odunfa, I'm getting a little reflective and kind of I'm thinking about, okay, so what does this look like? Aaron, take me. Get back over on this side. You could be in here just on this side of the table. So I'll get a little reflective as it gets close to my 5-year end. Aaron, take me. This is not a table. This is not a play area. You can be over here. So,
well done,
Aaron,
Mommy.
Yes. And now, thank you for being quiet. Thank you.
Shh.
Yes, shush.
S-H-H.
However you want to spell that, yes. So, thinking about, these last 5 years, and Aaron, take me. You're either quiet or you out. Which one are you going to be?
You're out, please.
Okay. So, thinking about the last few years and what I have ran away from, or rather, I was trying to come to decide what I wanted to do with this. Like, okay, is this a thing that I want to own? And the other day we had a temple meeting. And we wanted to revisit our temple Odu. So when we're looking at our temple Odu and looking at what is Ifa saying is our mantle, like what is a mantle for Temple Odu Pangunda? And we are supposed to be a community for our Black African American brothers and sisters who want to come to Isheshe. And thinking about, well, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to be a African American community that honors Isheshe? What does that actually mean for us? And so when I think about what does it mean to be African American and honor Isheshe, I was like, oh, I think part of that is understanding why. Like, what is it? What is the whole point of it if you are here on the continent? And so I was like, I swear the AI summaries of this thing are so wild because why does it say a black temple in Egypt? We are not in Egypt. I don't know why it would say that we're in Egypt, but that is straight hilarity. That is absolute comedy. It says a black temple in Egypt, and that's just straight comedy. So when you look at what is going on and things of that nature, it's like, how does this help? And I think about my nervous system. And one of the things, like one of my names is Fasu. One of my names is Fasu. And Fasu says that Ifa brings me inner peace. Ifa brings me inner peace. And how does that work though? How does Ifa bring me inner peace? And so I have been kind of like thinking about that a lot more as of late. Recently on Ojo Ajay, the last one, so let's this past Monday. On Ojo Ajay, I have decided to make a concerted effort to heal my relationship with Ajay. As a black woman born and raised in the US and understanding what our relationship with Ajay has become, I've been making a concerted effort to heal my own relationship with Ajay. And very intentional, not just spiritual, like the usuals, or like a lot of times, like I'll say, so you're doing candles, and no, no, no. I mean, I can, but that's not actually what it is. It was, I had to understand my nature. I had to understand what is my relationship to Ajay actually supposed to look like. And this is where Ifa comes in, because when you understand your nature, Ifa is the wisdom of nature. So when you understand what your nature is, it doesn't mean just, oh, this is my personality. Your nature is your essence in all avenues of life. So, what is my nature as it relates to money? What's my relationship with money supposed to look like? How does Ajay want to actually manifest in my life? What is it that I need to do or should be doing in order for money, wealth, prosperity, resources to come to me? Because a lot of times Ajay is just money. Ajay is money. Ajay is wealth. Ajay is resources. Ajay is support. So all of these things, Ajay is the Orisha that makes sure our human needs are met. So how can your human needs be met? They can be met through money, they can be met with support, and they can be met with resources. So Ajay manifests in all of those things. And with Ifa, I started to really look at my Odu and look at everything and see, how does Ajay actually want to show up? Does Ajay want to show up as money? Yeah, I'll get money. But Ajay also wants to come through as resources. And Ajay um, wants to come through as support. And the support one was a really key area to pay attention to, because a lot of times we are socialized to believe that if we accept support or we need support or we get support, we are failing. And support does not equal failure. Support is another manifestation of Ajay. So being able to accept and receive support is important. And being able to look at that, and I think about this as a black person in the US, in the African American diaspora, what does it mean to receive support? What does support look like for us? And one of the things I thought about was EBT. One of the things I thought about was EBT. And I was like, okay, is this Ajay? Have some people been feeling ashamed of Ajay because she came to you in the form of an EBT card? Alafia Agboato Asudi Wodiwofo, Alafia Tia, Alafia Naya, Alafia, thank you for the heart me. Have some of you been feeling ashamed because the way that Ajay wanted to show up is, here, get this Eat Better Today card. And the thing is like, oh my gosh, I wish I could afford food. You can, because you have an Eat Better Today card. Abo ato asuri iwori wo. You can afford it because you have this card. Ajay is the benevolent provider of human needs. If you have that card and you are hungry and there is money on that card for you to go to a store and purchase things for you to prepare to eat, is your human need met? Has your need been met? And if your human need has been met, she has been made manifest. She is manifesting. When your human need is met, she is actually manifesting. That is a manifestation of Ajay. Well, thank you for the heartbeat. And so being able to understand that, oh, it's not being irritating. If you hit my table, you're gonna have a problem.
Strike, mommy.
Understanding that you can come in here, you just can't hit the table. That she's going to show up in the way that she's meant to show up for you. She's going to show up in the way she's meant to show up for you. So then I had to learn, how does she want to show up for me? And so this past Monday, when I'm doing all my money things and I'm looking at all the ways she has been moving, so because I'm changing the way that I see it. When I see that my bills have been paid, Ajay is on the move. My bills being paid means that Ajay is on the move. She's on the move. So I'm not going to say, oh, she left, because the insinuation is she's not coming back. It's like, no, she's just on the move. She's just doing her thing. She's an energy likes to move. She's on the move. She'll be back. She'll be back grander. She's gonna have more of her when she returns. She left, and she's going to be here when it returns. And even this, I guess, afternoon, when I was thinking about lunch, and I was like, okay, so what does lunch look like? And I said, okay, so I took care of this, and I started running through it. I said, okay, so I got gas in my car, I got some groceries, and my storage is paid for, my car note's paid, my car insurance is paid, my phone bill is paid. I sent money to pay my sister. Okay. Offerings that I had were accepted. Okay. Can I run out and go and get a full set and a pedicure today? No, not today, but maybe if I say it out loud enough, I can in a couple of days get a full set and my toes done. Like Alafia, I go out to study eat food. So understanding how she wants to manifest, and so being able to sit with my money and look at her. I looked her in the face. I looked at all my bank accounts and said, okay, what has come and what is left? And then I looked at the way money came in and the streams. Shouts out to Her Majesty. To see, did this go towards survival? Did this go towards spiritual needs, my destiny? Did this go towards covenants? Did this go towards anything else? How did she leave? And why did she leave? And how did she come in? And because of the way I do my monthly divinations now, I divined on, okay, these are all the things I need to pay out for sure. These are my standards. Alafia, Iya, Alafia. Well, Dupuyo, thank you for the roses. I looked at all the ways she was flowing, and I was like, okay, these are the bills. How do these bills? How does she want to be? How does she want to go? And it was like, this bill is going to be paid real money. This one's to support. This one is support. This is a resource. And I'm just like, and so when I looked, look, Ashe, Daya, yes.
No time, mommy.
Yes. What time for Ajay showing up? And that's the thing. I was like, ooh, I got $20 in my cash app. So I got the kids lunch.
Cheers, mommy.
I got the kids lunch. I said, I can spend $20. So I got the kids lunch, and I got me a little something. So I'm like, she's gonna come through. She's gonna come through. And even this morning, the thought that I had this morning, I did that video, and so for those who just popping in, Alafia, oh look, I got a flash goal. It better not be a heartbeat. Oh no, it's not. Okay, yay. I need 4 ice cream cones, everybody. Can please everybody give me some 4 ice cream cones so that I can continue to be in the rhythm of the alga. So I can be in the algorithm.
You like to eat ice cream.
Do you? Because I've never seen you.
Yes.
Okay, well thanks for sharing. So I did the video this morning, stitching the lady's video where she was talking about the of our people and how they have been using it as a ritual. And when I listened to her historical breakdown, I said it is a ritual. All the way down to them sharing it amongst each other. When you give an apple, when you give an apple and it's cooked and prepared, it's not just the person who gave the offering that's eating. Everybody's eating. Everybody's eating. Now, you speaking to my son. Everybody is eating. And so being able to see that correlation, I was like, it is a ritual. It's absolutely a ritual. And so then I got irritated. Then I was like, I was frustrated. I was frustrated and realizing my frustration is because I keep wanting everyone to administer the medicine. Alafia Ni, thanks for joining. Everyone to do the medicine on this land. And the thought that came to me is like, you need to administer the medicine on this land. That's what y'all just talked about in your temple meeting. Temple Otulapong Gunda is the Isheshe temple for the African American diaspora. Well, thank you for the saxophone. Thank you. Oh, that's a groovy clarinet. I'm sorry. Could you? There we go. Temple Otulapong Gunda is the Isheshe temple for the African American diaspora. That is what we do. Can you off my shoulder, please, and get back there? Thank you.
Oh no, we get back there.
Yep. So when I thought about that this morning, I was like, and my students are going to be like, yay, because I had stopped saying this. When I had stopped saying this, I used to say, I am Ianifa Owini Awoseju Adina Doodle See Me, and I am the Ianifa for the African American diaspora. And it felt too big, and so I stopped saying it. But this morning I was like, no, for real, go back to saying it. And you are the Ianifa for the African American diaspora. You have not been allowed to go to the continent because you have work to do there. And it's funny because Her Majesty said, I wonder if it's because if you came, you wouldn't want to go home. I could see that. I could see planting my feet in certain areas and be like, oh, I'm not leaving. I'm not. I could see me like, hey, yo, I'm not leaving. And she was like, but you have work to do there. Your work is there. You must finish your work there. And I was like, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that as much as I want to come to the land and put my feet on the land and see the land, I have work to do here. And there's medicine that's needed here. And when she told the story of this young man and how they unalived him, they basically torched him, hung him, and then dismembered him. And I always appreciate when our cousins from the continent come, because sometimes they don't hear this. They don't get told this, that when our ancestors were brought here, and all the way up until 2026, this is still happening in 2026. So they took that man, hung him, torched him, and then dismembered him. That sounds like and then they had their children there helping in the dismemberment. They had their children helping in the dismemberment. Helping. And I said, our people are holding on to pain, grief, that and then to turn around and know that we had to then sit and live with these people. I think the difference between a lot of areas is that you didn't have to continue to live with them. We have had to continue to live and work right beside them. Live, work, raise our children right beside them. We have been, and to think about all that pain and that trauma that was endured, and I said, we need grief work. We need grief work. And I promise you, I'm not sad if I start to cry. I'm not sad if I start to cry. I might be moving energy, so just don't. I'm not sad if I start to cry, but grief work on a like on a spiritual level, grief work. We need our lineages, our families need ancestralization. Our ancestors need ancestralization. I'm going to continue to put it out there. And what my ancestors said is, I just need to put it out there for people to come get from me one on one. That your ancestors need ancestralization. And just come to me one on one, see what what the energy exchange is going to be, and we are going to ancestralize your family members. And we can't do everybody all at once because that's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. That means it's a lot of energy exchange. But we'll say start with the man. Tell me just tell me how to do it. Just give me an instruction because I don't know how to do it. Um, um, but they need ancestralization because when we understand that traumatic unalivings will lock a person here if the rites and ceremonies have not been done. If they never did Ori work in their life, they're not doing ancestor veneration. They never get the rites and ceremonies along their pathway, even just in a general like rite of passage, and then they are strung up, set afire, and dismembered. How in the world could that young man have been appropriately ancestralized? How could he have been appropriately? There's no way he could have been appropriately ancestralized. Tell them if the next time they tell me to do something to give better instructions. Tell them that. Tell them the next time they tell you to tell me, tell them to tell me to give the instructions better than what they said. But they're not appropriately they could not have possibly been because who was going to do it for them? Especially when you think about the wisdom around that necessity being taken away. How is that going to happen? So as a people, we need grief work, loads of it. We need ancestral grief work. We need to grieve for our ancestors who were never allowed to grieve, who were never allowed to mourn, who were never allowed to release. Then we need ancestralization work so that our ancestors who are still stuck here can go home. So that ones that are still stuck here can actually go home. We need alignment work for ourselves personally. I feel like we don't realize the power of Aaron, take me. Go give me the hand. Oh, go ahead. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. I've been fairy. You bring me hand sanitizer? Bring me hand sanitizer. I'm warm. I need to cool my hands off. I need to cool my hands off before I start stringing these beads. Thank you. So, we don't realize what happens, the ripple effect of being in alignment. Because a lot of times you're like, why does Ifa keep telling us to just be in alignment? Because there's something you're supposed to do that's going to be you are a domino that needs to fall in somebody else's destiny. You are a domino that needs to fall in somebody else's destiny. And they can't take the step. They need to take one good head, one good Ori impacts 200. You are the Ori. You are the domino that needs to fall for 200 Oris. You're the Ori, you are the domino that needs to fall for 200 others. There is something that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be a catalyst in some way. And if you don't know who you are, you can't move in alignment. This isn't about you saying, oh, I'm going to do this for all these people. That's not what it is. You need to be yourself in such a way. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry. Spam calls. You need to be yourself in such a way where that energetic frequency ripples outward. It's not about you becoming an influencer. It's not about you being this star. It is about the influence of your energy when it's in alignment. It's about the influence of your energy when it's in alignment. And when I was making the post earlier, my hands are just not cooling down. The Ladabo. And what I caught was this morning was like, I said, you have to say it more. I am the Ianifa for the African American diaspora. I am a born and raised Georgia peach. I understand no more play. Agawato, Asudi Iwariwofu, Alafia, Spirit Align. I can see it today. I got just enough hair to make the letters pop out. I am born and raised Georgia peach. Born and raised Georgia peach. Not only am I a born and raised Georgia peach, I understand No More Playing GA so intimately because I was sitting in my car outside the studio when he recorded it. I was sitting in my car outside the studio when he laid the track down. I heard the track before it hit the radio. That is how closely I understand that song. That is just how closely I understand that song. I am understanding of the need to like pop, lock, and then drop it. That there's an order to operations. I understand that I need to first pop, then lock. Then at that point, I can drop it. I understand that. I also understand that I'm going to sing Orisha music in my car like I'm singing a Jodeci song. So when we talked the other day, it was like representation matters. Representation matters. And I was talking about the idea that I wanted representation for myself. I wanted to be able to see myself. I have an Ianifa to look up to. I have an Ianifa to look up to on the continent. But I don't have a bamboo earring, at least 2 pair, clicky clacking fingernails, Ianifa in the States to look up to. I don't have any Ianifa that is divining Ifa that I can look up to. I don't have that melanated Ianifa that is casting her Yaki and casting her Okwele that I can look up to. And I have decided that I can grieve that and be that. I can grieve it and I can be it for myself. I can be the Ianifa that I want to I can be the Ianifa I want to look up to for myself. I can be that for myself. And this morning, I made that video, and the quiet thought that came to me is, she's awake now. Oh, she's back. And I was like, I didn't know you were in the States. I said, right on the heels of my Odunfa, I accept. There are multiple Ianifas in the African American diaspora, but my students, my Omos, they will go through the sacred grove on this land. and we would go to the rivers of this land and call them ocean. We would go to the Hilton Heads and I don't know what's up with the beaches on the other side. I live close to Hilton Head. We'll go to Hilton Head and Jekyll Island and Tybee Island. We'll call on Yemoja and Olokun and Aji. And we will go to some of these national parks. They call on Ochozi and Ogun. We're going to go to Stone Mountain. I got the first time I went to Stone Mountain to go to Stone Mountain was like 2 years ago. Has it been 2 years? Yeah, I think it's been about 2 years since I've been. Um, but I had never been there. Born and raised Georgia Peach. I don't get out a lot, but I have started. I had started saying I needed to get out more, and so when I went to Stone Mountain to go to an Ori Ile ceremony, when I left town the next day, I said I'm going to go visit Stone Mountain because I have never actually seen Stone Mountain, and so I went up there, and I went as far as I could go because I got vertigo. I can't go up but so high, and I'm afraid of heights. So I went up just enough to say, "Ooh, I stood on the mountain," like literally just enough. And Modupwo, Hobo narrated, "Thank you," and I said, "Ooh, a bunch of us dressed in white singing to Obatala on the mountain? That'd be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice." And some people may ask, well, like, there's a lot of people in the community. Like, if you're that close to Atlanta, there's a lot of people in the community in Atlanta. It's like, I don't feel called. What I have learned is I have to trust my intuition. And there's got to be enough for me to consult EFI on it. And it's not. It's not. If I don't feel a strong enough pull to go sit at the mat with my E key and say, "Hey, what's up with that?" I'm not asking, because that means my Ori is not saying yes to it. I would, for the convenience of distance, love it. But I realized I did 3 head cleanses just this week. I did 3 Ori cleanses this week. 3 Ori cleanses, 1 full Ibori this week, and none of them live in my city. They all came to me. They all came to my city, but not nary a one lives here in my city. Not one lives in my city, but they all came to me so that I can lay my hands upon them and cleanse their head and feed their Ori. Agbawato, Asudi Iworiwafu, Alafia, Omo Odudawa. I hope that you are well. They don't live here. They needed the things done, and they came here to have the things done. And so that's the other thing, is I'm going to share it so that the people of my city can see. But I have also let go of the idea that they're going to be the ones to come. The people who want to, on the 8th of August, I'm going to do a community head cleanse. I offer one every year. I offer a community head cleanse every year in August. I offer one right with the Lionsgate portal. I do it every year. And I'm doing it again. This year, I can actually do it. I normally don't get a chance to do it on the 8th. I can actually do it on the 8th this year. So I'm going to do it on the 8th. I'm going to do the cleanses on the 8th. Either way it goes, I'm going to be cleansing my head on the 8th. I'm going to be cleansing my head on the 8th. I was like, that's perfect. Just ahead of the new moon, just ahead of the solar eclipse. Come catch these hands. Come catch these hands. But I realized there were so many things holding me back, because I was just like, I wish that more people, and what I had to learn in these last 5 years is it really is quality over quantity. It really is that. I'm not trying to be, I see some of these, larger name communities, and they're like, who are you? Who are you? Like, was like, oh, Hamilton, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who's this guy? And like, I know that's where I'm at. It's like I'm in Hamilton, but I'm not gonna be like writing like I'm running out of time. Um, but it is an understanding that the right people are always going to show up. The right people. And with Ogun's internet, I can reach out to people and connect with people who maybe can't come see me in person yet. And that is okay. That is absolutely okay. And I release the need for it to just be it's in person and it's gonna be people. You want to drive? You want to fly down here? Come. You want to catch a flight and come so I can do a service for you? Come on. I am now open to receiving in the ways that it needs to manifest. I'm no longer choking it off. I'm no longer choking it off. It would oh my gosh, it would be so grand. I did a head cleanse for some folks locally. I think it's been a couple of years in my front yard. I had a really nice front yard. There's a lot of trees, so even in the summertime, my yard would be cool because I had a lot of tree cover. And I threw like a sleeping bag, opened it up in my front yard, and they all came. And so we started in my dining room area. Everybody sat down. They brought pillows and things, and I just did a little mini Ori lesson. I did a mini Ori lesson, and then I had the herbs and things for everybody. And I told them if there was anything they resonated with or anything that was growing in their yard they wanted to bring that. I had bowls for everybody, and we were mixing the arrow together and all these things, and we're doing the cleanse. It was just lovely. It was really just lovely. This year, it's going to be the cleanse and the Ebor. It's going to be both this year. And so you're going to cleanse your head. You're going to give your head all the offerings. You're going to get all the what's where fors. That's why it's later in the afternoon so that you can take your behind to the house and stay there and chill out. Stay there and chill out. Stay cool, man. Stay cool. Stay cool. Go home and chill out. I just did one for somebody I have been following on here. That's somebody I've been following for a good while. And he came first off. For those of you who saw the video where he did the review of my divination with him, where he came to get dream divination with me. And so I did the divination for him, and it did come up he needed his head cleanse. And so he drove down here. He drove 3 hours to come get a head cleanse for me. I just want to say, if you thought from looking in the videos that they might be tall, he's a goddamn giant. He's a goddamn giant. He walked in the door. I said, "Oh, I'm little. What? Shrink down. Bend your knees. Why are you towering over me like this?" He's a goddamn giant. But it was the coolest. His spirit is, oh my gosh, so young. Like, in person, there's this youth about him. He's just got this young, vibrant, and gentle energy about him. And you don't see a lot of his videos, but he smiled and his whole face just dropped 10 years. Like 10 years just straight gone off his face. I was like, oh my gosh. And what was really cool is I had my son with me. Who has now, for whatever reason, tonight at my room was the room that he needed to come to and go to sleep. And so I'm doing his Ori cleanse, and so my son is present. So all the while, my students know this. My son is big on splitting the Obi and the Oropo. That's what he wants to do. My son wants to split the Obi and he wants to split the Oropo. And clearly, I'm not beating while I talk to y'all. I can't because I want to talk with my hands. So I'm doing this, and I'm on the way, and I said, "Look, you can't split the OB today, son. That's not for you to do today." And he's like, "Okay, alrighty." And I was like, "And you're gonna sit and you gotta be quiet. Mommy's gotta work. She's got some work to do." Okay. So I get everything set up, and my client comes, and my son is like, immediately. So like, let's say this is a mat. So I'm here, My client is here. Here come my son, right here. Like I'm in here. I'm in here. It's two owls in the room. We talk about it's two owls in the room. We're here doing this together. It's two priests in the room. It's two priests in the room. We both in this in a way. And I told us like you could help sing and do the orikis and all of the things. And it was his enjoyment of my son that was just such a cool thing to watch. It was his enjoyment of my son's engagement in the process. And yes, my son orikis, help open up, call in all the energy. And then I didn't know how much of the oriki for Osai my son had been paying attention to until he started doing the call and response with me. And I'm just like, do you know how hard it is to work while also like I'm both, yes, I'm Ianifa, but Yay is like listen to my son do this oriki that I did not know he knew the words to. And I'm just, and for those who are like new here that don't know, both of my children are on the spectrum, both of them with speech delays, one with a more severe speech delay. Like technically, someone would say by a diagnosis standard that my son that always pops in here is nonverbal. Though he speaks, like nonverbal doesn't intentionally always mean mute. So they would say that my son is nonverbal. I don't think he's nonverbal because he talks. He does talk. You may not always understand in the moment what it is he's trying to communicate, but my son speaks. My son is verbal. But by a diagnosis standard, they would say that my son is nonverbal. Um, and so to have him in that space where we're still working on him and his ability to communicate in, English, to the level of his peers, and he's sitting there in every oriki in Yoruba, every oriki in Yoruba, and I'm just like, okay. When I got to the cleansing part, he went on and continued to play with his tablet. But when it came time to feed that head, he was, I'm right here. What's up? These offerings, though. Let me get in on that. Let me get in on these offerings, though. And so I get to the Obi, split, please. I said, no. And I said, please, like, if I'm literally in my head, like, please, son, don't melt down. I said, no, remember, mommy told you he's got to split the Obi. But Eshu, and I was like, you can give Eshu his portion. He was happy with that. And so he's doing the offerings and all these things. And so at one point, my client is like, is he a priest? I said, technically, he's a priest in training. But yes, technically, he is a priest. And he's like, he's really knowledgeable. And I said, well, I guess it makes sense because he's technically been watching me since I started in the tradition. He's been watching me, just quietly watching the whole time, And I share that because as a parent, I see what Ifa, specifically through the lens of Isheshe, is doing for me and my children. And I won't lie, say, I'm perfect? No, I'm still trying to figure out how to, I'm still learning how to mom in this way. I'm still learning how to mom in this way. I'm still actively deconstructing parenthood through a Western post-slavery colonization lens. I'm still deconstructing from that so that I can actually take care of my children the way their Ori and my Ori have ordained they should be taken care of. So I have those moments, but it's moments like that that say, okay. It's moments like this morning, I was like, so I laid my opole in front of him. So I just laid it down. And I said, and I put it oriented so it was in front of him. I said, hey, make this look like Osao Gunda. And so he stood there for a second, and then he said, and I'm just like, all right, you can go, son. I'm sorry. I played in your face a little bit. My bad. I was playing in your face. And so when I did get my Odu of the day, I left it laying there. And I said, what did I get today? What was the Odu? And he looked at it. He's like, "Oh, Tora, oh phone. All right, I'll stop playing in your face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stop playing. I'm playing in your face now. I'm sorry. My bad. Clearly, mommy is playing in her baby face, and I just want to say I'm sorry. I apologize, son. That's my bad. That's my bad. When I listen to, there is, I guess you could say technically they're an in-law, but I'm on Facebook and I'm watching this family, and they're going through something with their child, and it's heartbreaking because I want to reach out so badly. Multiple, thank you for the heart me. I want to reach out to them so badly and say, why don't you let me divine for you, for your baby? You have no idea how often I'm looking at my friends on Facebook, coworkers, classmates, and I'm just like, I wish you'd let me divine for you. I wish you'd let me divine for you. Thank you, Tia. I wish you'd let me divine for you so that, you know, so that we could at least know if there's anything more that could be done. And I'm like, I'm just going to leave it in. My youngest son wasn't feeling good one evening, and it was just bad. Uh, I I can answer that. I don't mind you asking at all because it's a good question. Maddie, I love you, honey. Um, you know, I'm gonna say again, I'm a black girl from GA, so the majority of the people I know do not practice in ATR. The majority of people I know don't practice in ADR. The majority of the people I know don't even practice hoodoo. So it don't matter how many times I post a review where somebody says simply sitting in my presence shifted something. When I did divination on Wednesday, she said, I don't know what it is, but you hugged me and I just felt so light. Sometimes that's it. Not more, no less. I'm almost. Sometimes all I need to do is just hug you, and that's it. That's the medicine. Here you go. Come here. I'm built like a Yemoja too. Come here. Let me hug you. let me love on you a little bit, and that's it. It don't matter how many times I say it. It don't matter. It don't matter how many times, even from my family, they don't know how many offerings I have given behind the scenes to keep them safe, to keep them protected. The way that hurricane was coming through here, you know, Hurricane, what's her name, Helene? She came through Georgia like Georgia owe her reparations. She came through Georgia like Georgia owe her reparations. And the way that I sat at my mat, praying over not only my own house, but my parents' house, my parents' homes, to make sure that they were safe, that they were protected, the way that I made that Iwori over all our houses. And if you heard about how she tore through, especially here in Augusta, and how she tore through here. So, like, I'm back home now, and they never lost power. Let me say that again. When Georgia was like in a blackout, when our city was in a blackout, my parents, my dad's house, they were 11 off path. They never lost power. They never lost power. Not only did they not lose power, didn't lose water. I never lost water at my house. I lost power, but I didn't lose water at my house. Never lost water. Power was out for some people for weeks. The hurricane hit Thursday night going into Friday morning. I had power on Sunday. You know why? Because I was at them at, hey, let's talk about this electricity. Let's not talk about this electricity. Do we think we could get the electricity back on by before Monday? Can we get it on by Monday? That's doable. What's the offering? What's the offering? I get the offering on Saturday. My lights were on Sunday. My lights were on Sunday. They're not gonna know how I prayed over the water to stay on. They're not gonna know. And even if they did know, they would just say it's a coincidence. So there are those who do know, like they do get it. They still don't ask me. They still don't ask. There are those that know and they still are not going to ask me simply by virtue of it goes against everything they were told to believe. It don't matter. And I am, contrary to what I told myself as a child, not Wonder Woman. I am not the swoop in on the invisible jet and save you. That's not my responsibility. You must ask to take the medicine. You must ask. This is why did and did. Like the and that's like as a black woman here in the States, living my black American experience, my black woman experience here. Do you know how I could see what Ifa could do for us as a people? And I can't give it to everybody. I can't. I can't. Because it's not my responsibility to, I'm not doing the not. Hi, have you heard about the owner of the Crossroads issue? That's not my I'm not door knocking. Hey, have you prayed to your Ori today? I'm not knocking on your door. Even for my actual students, I give them what they need. It is still their responsibility to use it. I am not sitting there. Hey, girl, did you do your O'Shea today? What offerings did you give? I'm not my responsibility. And that is the one of the hardest lessons in the last 5 years as an Ia that I have had to learn is that is not my responsibility. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to share the wisdom, make the wisdom available for people to take advantage of learning, and I can share how the medicine is showing up in my life. How am I applying the medicine to my black experience? And tell the Shonda that I said, hey, girl, hey. I have to apply it to my life and show what it's doing. It's 2026. It's 2026. And what I know is every time I played for money, it ended up going to a family member. And it's like, but then I go look at my Odu, and my Odu says, I want you to get gifts. I want you to be supported. That is how I want you to be taken care of. I want you to get, yes, like I always say it as a running joke. Some of y'all trying to see what is the magic 9 to 5 job you're supposed to have, and it's supposed to be you a sugar baby. Some of y'all's magic 9 to 5 is your feet on OnlyFans, and you just won't take advantage of it. Like some of y'all keep trying to do this one way because this is the expectation society has had for you. But your Ori said no. What you think I gave you them legs and them feet for? Your Ori is like, didn't I give you a body built like a stallion? What are you talking about? That's how you attract your RJ. And some of you is like, no, I gotta work at this call center and sit this cubicle and become senior. Go off. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. do what you want to do. I said as a joke, there's like those who have ever met me in person. Like I don't think there's anybody here that's ever seen me in person. So the closest they got is photos. But In person, I am 5'5", but my lower half looks like I'm 6 feet. I am 5'5", but my lower half looks like I'm supposed to be 6 feet tall. Somebody told me that I was built like I am pure African because of the way my extremities are built. They said you are built like you're pure African, so it is not a surprise when I say the average African American is 70 to 80% African when you do the DNA test, and I'm 92. I'm built like I'm 92% African. Legs don't care what kind of shoes I got on. I can have on flip flops. My legs understand the assignment. My legs and feet always. My toenail polish could look like trash. Like now, it don't matter. My legs and my feet always understand the assignment. So I said to my godmother that brought me the tradition, as a joke, we're in our 101, and I joke and I said, man, I'm going to start an OnlyFans and do tarot with just my feet. And she said, what you wait for? Man, don't play with me. Don't play with me. You could never give me that green light. You could never do that for me. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm about to get paid. Run it. Run the numbers. You go get this wisdom today. If the only way you can receive the wisdom is watching me paint my toes, but you leave there and you go and place your hands on your head and sing to your Ori and ask your Ori what you want, you know what? A win is a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. Some of y'all, that's what your path is, and it's like you don't know because you won't come to the tradition that is going to make you look at yourself. You won't come to the tradition that says your responsibility in this life is to be yourself. That's your responsibility. Ifa says your responsibility in this life is to be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Ashe. And when you are yourself, it magnetizes you. When you are yourself, it magnetizes you. And what we don't always look at in our African American experience is how much we have to dig out from under. When I was going to post it earlier today, it's just a post or a video, I was like, we have to dig out from under generations of ancestral trauma and the trauma of our current living experience. We have to dig out from under all of the generational stuff that we inherited and and our own personal stuff that we have been dealing with in our lived experience. So a lot of times people come to this, it's like, why is this not automatically? Why don't I have $1 million now? Why has this not happened now? Do you know how much junk you got to dig out from under? Do you understand how much stuff you are doing this? But when you start, you will see the light. When you start, you will see the light. You will see the light and you will realize like so many things will start to click. So many things will make sense. You will, hold on, here comes my little puzzle piece. Kitty, meow. There you go. You will start to see it. And that's why last year when I asked Ifa, I said, what is the medicine for the African American community? What do Black people of the U.S., now that the man is in the building, now that the man is in the building on the East Coast, the man is in the building on the East Coast, and what are we supposed to do? And Ifa's like, first off, Ifa said, make them a soap. That was the first verse was like, no, for real, make them a soap. Tell them all to bathe with it so that people don't come into their city and kidnap them. I did that in January 2025. I went to Ifa, and Ifa said, make them this soap so that when the people come, they can't come into their city and take them. What that sound like? What it sound like Ifa knew was coming? Mm-hmm. 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 Then it was reinforced in the world, though, dude, when it was like give offerings for wrongly incarcerated people. Soap, soap, soap. Sorry, Barbie. Sorry, baby. Soap. Tia, that was good. Them cold people, that was real good, Tia. That was real good. That was good, Tia. The cold people. Because at first I was like, them cold people. Them cold people. Yes. And then I was like, well, what do we need to do? And it's like, they need to know who they are. They need to know who they are. A lot of times when people get a divination, and I'm going to use the language that's here in our country, they say, Ifa says you need initiation. What you hear when someone tells you Ifa says initiation, what you hear is, oh, I'm going to be a priest. No. No. What you're supposed to be hearing is Ifa says you need Itefa. And then you're supposed to say, well, what is that? And then the person's supposed to say, you need to go through a rite of ceremony and then receive your user manual. You're supposed to get your user manual. This is you. Get your destiny. Your destiny is your user manual. It is how you are meant to function in your current living experience. It is do this job, don't do that job. This is your best living environment. You should probably never live there. It is, you should, like for me, what was something random I just recently learned? Yes, get your user manual. Once you have your user manual, if your user manual says inside of it, like mine, you're going to bring a lot of people to E5, you're going to bring a lot of people to the mat, then another conversation, ceremonies if things happen, and learning to take you to the priesthood. But if it's not in your user manual, it's not that it needs to be in your user manual. You're not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be giving out priesthood like the lollipops at the bank. It's supposed to be in their user manual. It's supposed to be in their user. It's supposed to be in their user manual. The user manual is so that you know how to do life. So we grew up raw dog in life. And if I said, what do black people need to get out from under? They need to got their user manual for themselves. So that, imagine you knew that you were supposed to, let's say, be a gardener. You say gardener. You're supposed to be a gardener. But you work at Magenta Land sitting on the phones in the loyalty department, stressed out, irritated. I can use that example because I used to do loyalty for Magenta Land. And so you're sitting there, you're stressed out, you're irritated, and your blood pressure high, your vision is going crappy because you're looking at that monitor all day, and so now you got an astigmatism in both eyes. When you were supposed to have been a gardener. That's funny. I'm sorry, I promise you, I'm not reading nobody. It was like a book say gardener. Okay. So maybe it's like so doing that. And so all of a sudden you just little by little, this doesn't mean quit your job with no plan. Start working your way towards doing it. So maybe start with flowers. And all of a sudden you start doing flowers and somebody comes by and they're like, hey, I was doing some good deeds and here. And they hand you $100. You would do nothing. You just existed in the world. Ashe. And so you're like, okay. So then you start growing food. And people are like, hey, you got some such and such? Yeah, I got some that I'm getting ready to harvest. How much? Well, whatever. And so all of a sudden, all them whatevers start to add up. All them whatevers start to add up. And then you start showing other people. Because now you are operating in your element. And there are other people who are meant to operate in that same element. It's like, hey, can you give me some tips? So now you're giving tips. So there's now more people who, now you're creating sustainability in your community. All because you are just being yourself. That's it. You ain't just, you didn't get 1 million followers. You were just existing in your existence as the way that you are meant to exist. and things just started happening. Things just started happening. I know somebody who, like, they're always trying to do some yard work. They're always trying to do yard work. I got to get my yard together. Da, 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 da. They done colonized our yards, y'all. I just thought about that. I just said that in part two. But anywho, so I got to get my yard together. Get it. But every time they get ready to go do their yard work, it rains. It could be 10% chance of rain. You know it's not going to rain when it's only 10% chance. It's raining there. It's raining there. It's raining there. And so I recently dug into their Odoo because I'm like, this is not a coincidence. If it's not the rain, whatever they need, they cannot get. Whether it's gas, a particular tool, whatever they need to do what they need to do out there, can get it. I said, that's not a coincidence. Ever since I started my spiritual journey, not Ifa, spiritual journey in general, one thing I have always stuck to, that coincidences are not because the Most High thinks they are cool. Because that's how most people treat them. Well, that was a coincidence, and that's it. Why is it a coincidence? Why is this sequence happening over and over and over and over again? What are you supposed to be getting? So I said, I wonder if you got a taboo. They have a taboo against farming. They are not supposed to farm. And I said, working in your yard is farming. Working in your yard is farming. Working in your yard is farming. You're not supposed to farm, homie. Once they stop trying, their yard is getting done, though. They're not doing it, but the yard's getting done. And I was just like, see what happens when you move in alignment with who you are meant to be, who you're meant to be. So imagine how regulated your nervous system would be. Just think about like that. That was the thing I said I want to share earlier. It's like Ifa helps keep my nervous system regulated. Ifa helps me to keep my nervous system regulated because I know which way to go. I know who to be. Ifa keeps my nervous system regulated. And so imagine one Ori and then not just one, like 10. Just regulated nervous systems. What would you do if your nervous system was regulated? How could you move? How could you exist in the world? And what is that energy coming off you doing to your reality? With a regulated nervous system, what is your energy doing to your lived experience, to your physical reality? You think it's only affected inside? What is that energy you putting out in the world, bringing and keeping away from you when your nervous system is regulated? When I'm like, oh my God, like the other day, I posted this verse in one of my videos because I consulted Ifa and I had not out loud said it. I did not say it out loud. But there was, I'm Black in America. I'm Black in America. So I did have one of those, well, maybe if I get a part-time. I never said it out loud. But the thought did this. It did this. That's the truth. That's the reality. I'd be lying if I didn't say that. And I think it was triggered because I was having a conversation with a priestess in the Kemetic tradition. She and I were talking, and she said, she asked me about being a full-time priestess. Like, what is that like? And I was like, being a full-time priest in the States, and I'm Black. It is equal parts rewarding and challenging. It is equal parts rewarding and challenging. So I won't lie to y'all and tell you I don't have those days where I'm just like, that corporate check, And medical insurance sure sound nice. And corporate check and medical insurance sure sound lovely. But then I get an Odoo, and it's like he consulted EFI to know how to get out of poverty and whether he should quit his job. It's Obey Iwari. Look at me remember the Odoo. And EFI said, no, don't quit your job. Go harder in the paint. Do your job with zeal. Dude said, say less. So he goes back to work. Start put out more traps and all these things. Next thing you know, he done caught an elephant. Then he caught a tiger. Then he caught several other exotic animals. And he's like, yo, this is crazy. I gotta call people to come help me. What? He had to hire people. He had to look. He was no longer a solopreneur. He needed a team to come help him. And so when he's headed to go like get the people to help him, he trips and he falls. He found some snails and tortoises, and then he falls into some money. Then somebody come running, hey yo, your wife just gave birth and she had twins. Brother said, I am living the life. What? Life is good. Life is so good. And clearly, my life is better than the king's. It has to be. Haters gonna hate because the king's men heard what he said, and it's like, oh, that's how you moving? Say less. Arrested him on the spot. Took him before the king. And he's like, why you brought him? Because he said his life was so good, it was better than yours. And so the king was like, why would you say that? And he's like, let me tell you what happened. I was in poverty, and if I told me, yo, do your job harder. So I did. And I caught bop, 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 bop. Then as I was headed back home, I tripped and fell and found bop, bop, bop. And come to find my wife just had twins. And so, like, I was saying not that I was better than you, but this is like it's a life of a king. And he's like, the king is like, you know what? My life is good, but it ain't never been that good. Here, let me add to you. Let me add to it. Y'all go help him take care and skin that elephant and stuff. And here, take all these gifts with you too. When I got that Odoo and I got that verse, I was like, Eli told me two things. Go harder in the paint on your work and spend more time with your kids. That's what I got. Go harder in the paint on the work and spend more time with the kids. And I was like, okay. Alrighty then. And recognizing that the calling for me is what it is. The calling for me is what it is. It's not gonna look like that for everybody else, but that's what it is for me. And looking at it holistically in the last 5 years, it's not that I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I am. I'm doing absolutely what I am meant to do. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I just didn't have enough structure around it. I didn't have enough structure. So this year, especially these last, I say 2-3 months, have been really about me refining. It's like, okay, I got the spiritual on. We're gonna need you to add a bit more structure around the practical aspects of your spirituality, so that you don't leak out your E-ray. I got that from Ifa. I got that from an Odoo. I got that from my personal Odoo. It says you are extremely generous, and you will give your E-ray away if we let you. Whoa! You yelling, Ifa? Why are you talking about me like this? In my face, though? In my face, you yelling. But knowing it, when I looked at everything my Odoo said, when I tell you it's like just taking one step, putting one system in place, the way that it relaxed me. Like I just relaxed. And another one, and I just more relaxed. When you know who you are and the way that who you are wants to manifest in the world, even when things are going on around you that is utter BS. Because yes, I want to have more children. I want to have more children. Like why? It's like I want to expand my line, but I also love children. I also love children, and I also understand what it means to get pregnant in the US, especially as a black woman. Especially. So how do I feel comfortable? Because I know what the medicine is behind the scenes that's going to help make sure my physical experience happens the way I want it to. Ifa helps me to regulate my nervous system. Ifa helps me to regulate my nervous system. When all these things are going on, Ifa says, come stand in the eye of the storm with Oya. The storm is going to rage. It's going to happen, especially this year. Come find the center. Come find the eye so that your nervous system can stay steady. When you have a regulated nervous system, you move the way that you need to. You know when you need to freeze. Stay where you are. Don't move. Stay. I.e., keep doing what you're doing. It's freezing doesn't always have to manifest as paralysis. Freeze out of alignment is paralysis, but freeze sometimes means sit and get out the way. We working on something. Freeze sometimes looks like be in your feminine energy. Stop trying to take action at this time and receive. Magnetize yourself. Just be in a receptive energy. Sometimes freeze in alignment looks like that. Sometimes it's fight. Fight means take action. Do something. Don't sit there and let things happen to you. Move so things are happening for you. That is fight. Fight out of alignment literally means you are fighting. You are pushing away, you are rejecting, you're resistant. That is fighting out of alignment. Flight. Flight out of alignment. I'm running from my responsibilities. Here's one that everybody here, if you're in the diaspora, you see that 800 number call on your phone and you reject it. I ain't got no money for them. I ain't got no money for them. They call, I don't know what they calling me for. I ain't got no money today. I don't know what they calling me for. I ain't got no money today. Everybody know that. Or you answer the phone with a Spanish accent. What? Am I telling her? Whose house did I just enter? You answer the phone with a Spanish accent so that they don't know it's you. She not here right now. She not here right now. Flight. That is your flight response. That's what you don't realize. That is your flight response. That's your flight response. You are running. You think flight just looks like physically leap, get up. No, that is a flight response. But sometimes in alignment, flight looks like freedom. You ever watch a bird fly? Don't it look like freedom? Flight sometimes looks like freedom, meaning you are moving with ease. You're moving with ease. You're moving in joy. You are soaring. You are open. That is what flight looks like when it's in alignment. So when your nervous system is regulated, your freeze, fight, or flight response moves in such a way that you are operating in one of those avenues when and how you should to continue to bring about your wellness and alignment. When you're unsure whether you should freeze, fight, or fly, this is where Ifa comes in. It's like, look, Ifa, look. You know what they're doing up there in the building on the East Coast. They're doing a lot. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? And you go and you sit at the mat, and the Ifa says, I need you to do XYZ 1, 2, 3 character and give this, lock in the spiritual. Do this is this practical. Do this is this, lock in the spiritual. Yeah. Take it on two sides. A lot of times there are instances where we're moving like we should in a physical sense, but we still need that spiritual backing to push us over the edge. Sometimes we're like, okay, I can feel like I'm doing what I need to do, but I don't know what else I need to do. We need that extra spiritual to push it over the edge for you. You and John going for a job. You have a similar background. Both of your resumes are immaculate, and you're pretty sure that both of you are going to be strong in the interview. Who's going to come out on top? And you're like, I don't know, he's a man, they're probably going to choose him. Did you give an elbow? Did you give an elbow? Because sometimes that's the determining factor. Sometimes that offering, the right offering, the right, aligned, energetically appropriate offering is the thing that's going to differentiate you and John. Like, ain't no, like, I ain't got no beef with you, John, but me and my kids need to eat. So guess what? Let me go and say, look, I got this job interview. I'm in competition with somebody, and I really need this job. One, is it in alignment? If it is, cool. What do I need to do to secure this job over the competition? And you do what you were told to do, and you get your job. And then you get your job. When I say that is what my people need. Sometimes if they've got the character, they need that extra boost. They need extra boost on the spiritual side to lock things in. They don't realize that, yes, you are getting your E-ray, but your E-ray does not have longevity. You need to give an offering for longevity so that you are not blessed today only for it to leave tomorrow. You need a longevity offering, not because you won't live long. You'll live a long time. Leaking breath of blessings every time you go to bed at night. You need a longevity offering, not prosperity. Sometimes you feel like I need prosperity because it doesn't feel like your money stays. It's not it. You're getting the prosperity. You are also leaking it as fast as it arrives. You need a longevity offering to ensure that you are not blessed today only for it to leave tomorrow. When I say that ENIFA for the African American diaspora, it's because I feel like a lot of times our people are looking for themselves. Like they're looking for themselves in the spirituality. And a lot of times you find someone that lives here, but they still sound like they're on the continent because that person cannot bring it to the Black American experience. And I feel like that's the blessing of how Ifa comes from to me, is because it doesn't just come to me through what it would have looked like for our ancestors on the continent. I can see, like, okay, the verse that I said where he found an elephant. I don't have an expectation that I'm going to find an elephant. I'm not finna find an elephant. One, because I ain't laying no traps on one. Two, I'm not gonna find an elephant. Ain't no elephants here. So what is Ifa actually trying to tell me? There are going to be, if I do my work, the work I'm currently doing, and I do it with zeal, I go harder on the work that I am meant to do, and I do it with gusto. I give it the razzle dazzle it's supposed to be. I go harder in the paint for the work that I do. This is not hustle culture. Don't get it twisted. Ifa is never ever going to say hustle culture. It's not ever going to be like I'm working to the midnight oil and I don't ever get no sleep. That is not ever going to come through. What is going to come through is that the hours where I am meant to be working and I should be working on the days that I should be working, I need to not only be working, but I need to go after it like I love it, like I enjoy it, like this energizes me, and I need to put the energy into it. But somebody else ain't always going to tell you that. Somebody else might tell you like, okay, this is, you're going to maybe see an elephant somewhere. You're not going to see no goddamn elephant somewhere. I mean, you might, but like you're not going to see no elephant somewhere. What you're going to see is what the elephant might symbolize: wisdom, longevity, patience. It might be things that come to you but they come to you like in great size, something large, abundant. You might see the turtles coming through with this coolness and protection. So, what do these things actually represent? How would these things manifest actually in your living Black American experience? And then what are you supposed to do with that wisdom to have a prosperous, peaceful Black American experience. So this morning I said, I'm going to stop running from the idea that I am the Ianifa for the African American diaspora. I keep looking for her, and then everybody keep telling me she in my mirror. So I gotta, what Michael say, you looking for the man in the mirror? I'm looking for the Ia in the mirror. I'm looking for the Ianifa in the mirror. And I'm I have to stop I have to stop ignoring the fact that that's where she's at. I have to stop ignoring the fact that she's in the mirror. Okay. As soon as you um, hold on. Okay, Fieri, can you please make sure the clothes in the dryer are dry and pull them out? Put them with the other clothes. So, being able to understand what our people need and translate how Ifa is already telling us what we need. You just need someone to tell you what Ifa is saying. And I'm not going to. They're still wet? Okay. All right. Um, what I need is for the people who are meant to find me, which means I have to put myself back out there. Like in the 5 years I have been doing this, I have been like, yeah, I got to put myself out there, and I don't want to, and put yourself out there, and I don't want to, and I had not been paying attention to the way the energy wanted to move in the way I wanted to put myself out there. This morning was the first time in a long time I felt like the old me, but the new me. It's like a nice little. I made the video because I felt like it, and I made it in the moment I felt it, because I'm a generator. One time for human design, I'm a generator, and that's how I'm supposed to move. When the energy is present and I am responding to something. So I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better for the people. I'm gonna do better. But apparently, I need to go tend to the laundry. I need to tend to the laundry. So 15 minutes. I'm gonna give 15 minutes, and so what I'm gonna do is open it up. So my Odufa is coming up, and since I have been reflecting on being the ear for the African American community, as at least probably half of y'all are probably African American. My questions what I would, what I'm gonna ask y'all. Y'all don't ask me questions. I want answers. What do you feel like as African Americans you want to know that Ifa can help you with? So it's like, if you want to say, can Ifa help with dot 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 dot? What questions do you have that you want to know? Could you get that answer from Ifa? And so I stay on for like 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna scooch because I also need to go cook. I need to go cook some dinner. I need to cook some dinner. And then if I don't have any, then I'll go. But I'm gonna give y'all a second to see what it is you feel like we as Black people here in the United States need support in, a push forward in, and you want to know, can EFI answer that question? Like, is that something EFI addresses in a general sense, or you want to know if that's something that can be addressed? And I'm asking this because we're almost at August, and so we're just shy of 30 days. So in a little under 30 days, I have an owl conclave scheduled. And initially, this was to pull together Black African American elders in Isheshe. And what it ended up becoming is Black elders. It's going to be an Isheshe space, but it is a cross section of Black elders in Black spirituality. So we have Isheshe represented, we have ADRs represented, we have, because I think it's Palo and Lukumi, that'll be represented. We have hoodoo represented, and we have the black church represented. So we have all of this cross section of black spirituality in the U.S. I divined on all the people that are going to be there, and so we're going to talk about what our people need. So that's what I'm asking. It's like, what do you think we should be talking about? What do you think we should be talking about in this session? What do you think that we should go to Ifa with to see what it means to bring about? I know what living, but even we are not a monolith. So even in our black experience, there are still going to be things that are nuanced by region and things like that. So what is it that you feel like we need that we should take to E5 to find out what to do? Whether I do that on the 20th or if I've already seen it and I could just tell you, oh, this is what E5 would tell you in a general sense, or whether or not you should go with Consult E5 to see what you need to know in a personal sense. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, give time for anybody that wants to drop something, and then if not, then I will close up shop and go about my black owned business. And get ready to cook a good Southern dinner. Naya, I swear you can let them cook. First off, Naya, you think you're funny with the let them cook. I appreciate a good pun. I appreciate a good pun. I appreciate that. No, nothing you feel like we need for the peoples, for the people. Y'all trust me enough that I'm going to ask Ifa all the appropriate questions. That we're going to have a good conversation. First off, you're as bad as Kita, because what I got from that enjoy your day off was we're not asking you nothing and you could just go be off and stop trying to work. And I feel like I don't appreciate how you yelled at me real loud and aggressive. Like, I don't appreciate the loud and aggressive yelling. Yep. Fine. I will let it go. Multiple. Thank y'all so much again for the quality time I spent quality time with you. So I'm gonna go. Oh look, I'll show you. Hold on, Naya. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. So I just want you to see that I have been beading. Look, I have been beading. I have been beading. I have been doing some yes. So I have been beading. And hold on. I don't know if you saw these yet, but you saw the original one, but I started making some more, so I'm going to have 10 of them available. This is officially called the Cartomancer. So you can get it in red, black, or white. And hold on. So I would say this like this. For the public, I'm only doing 10. But if anybody in my temple wants one after the 10 sell out, I will do another one for y'all. But the Cartomancer is going to be a limited edition piece. Now this, and I'm only going to let you see it like that. I'm not going to open it or anything. Why? Because this is for y'all. This is for temple members. I'm not opening it up. That's all you get to see. That's all you get to see of it. You don't get to see nothing else. This is it. That's all you get to see. It's all you get to see. And then this is not for everybody. This is for me. But is she cute? Isn't she cute? No, it's Temple of Tutufo Gouda. this is the temple in a bead, in a piece. This is a visual representation of the temple. That's what it is. Yep. So I got those, and Kita, Alafia, and then I made these, and then I made these. This is my first time. It's my first time, so like be gentle because this is my first time actually trying to do an ear cuff. It's my first time doing an ear cuff. Very first time. So I did these, and I feel like this is for my Odopa. I feel like, thank you, thank you. This is for my Odopa. So I have been busy. Alafia honey, Aquawato, Asuri Iwariofo, Watupo, thank you for the heartbeat. So I have been working. I'm gonna finish up the Cartomancer pieces so I can put them on the site. Again, I have a Lionsgate Portal community head cleanse happening on the actual 8th. The portal's been open, but like it's at its peak on the 8th. So I'm doing that on the 8th at 3 p.m. And it is both in person and virtual. It is in person and virtual. So you do not have to come here, but I would love for people to come be here in person. I would love that. I would love to have a few folks in person for that event. I'm going to do 4:44 on the clock. Yay! I'm going to open it up with a little mini Ori lesson, and then we're going to do the cleanse, and then you're going to feed your Ori, and I will tell you all the things that you can and cannot do that evening, and I send you on about your way. Send you on about your way. I'm also going. I'm really debating on something, but we'll see. There's something else I want to do, but I'm debating on it. But otherwise, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to go and season this chicken, and decide if I'm going to go ahead and cook those mustard greens to go with it. And if I'm going to make some rice, and some mustard greens to go with it. And I hope that you all cut it. There we go. So I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of my day, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Well, double.